Hey, lots of people joining. Okay, here we go. Now I'm adding you. Hey, everybody. Ah, there we go. Okay.
Hey.
All right.
Hi, Becky.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Bear with us here. We're just trying to get set up. This is new territory for both of us.
Yeah.
All right. Are you set over there, Annie?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm looking around thinking there must be more to this, but this is the first time I've gone live on Instagram. So, yeah, here we are.
Cool. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad everybody's here. This is great. This is my first Insta Live. Yeah, this is actually my first time doing like two people on one live. All right. Well, should we get started?
Yeah, let's get started.
Okay. I'm just like watching everybody join.
I know I'm watching everybody come on.
All right. So, welcome everybody. We're going to be talking about delivering a workshop to your community online. I'm Monica Kovac. I'll just quickly introduce myself first and then hand it over to Annie. So I'm Monica. I'm the owner and founder of Hold Space Creative, and I design websites and brands for private practice therapists. And I used to be an art therapist and a counselor myself. So everything that we're going to be talking about today, I've been there, like transitioning from in-person work to online work, that all the struggle and the mindset stuff that goes along with that, like I've been there. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about that today.
Me too. I'm really excited. And this was Monica's idea. And as soon as she brought it up, I was like, yeah, that's absolutely, I would love to talk about this. I'm Annie Schusler. I have a podcast called Rebel Therapist, and hi, Nick. And I work with therapists and healers who want to take their work beyond the therapy room and create something often online, create programs for people where they're using their experience and they're using all of their training as therapists, but they're using it in a different way. So, yeah, so this is really exciting. For me personally, even just today, for example, I'm home, my kids are home, my wife is home, probably like you. And knowing that there was a way for me to be able to provide something helpful today felt really good. And I'm just kind of wanting the same thing for you, to feel like, yeah, I'm home, my clients are home, and there's actually something I can provide in a totally new way that's really going to help people through this time. So that's really what we're here for.
Yes, well said. So everyone, we're just kind of gonna start like talking about the stuff. Feel free to type in a question as they come up for you. We'll kind of take pauses to check in with everybody as we go along, but we want to hear from you. We want this to be a discussion and interactive. So let's get started with mindset. So with this, creativity is huge. Like creativity is literally just solving problems, and we're kind of being inundated with a lot of problems right now. Having to kind of switch entire business models into something else is pretty intimidating and scary. And with some creativity, we can adapt and we can adjust. So throughout this workshop and beyond, if you notice yourself feeling there's like shoulds or like can'ts
Mm.
rising up, I'm just going to encourage you to turn that into how.
Mm.
So like, how can this work for me? That's been a game changer in my own business when trying to get creative with stuff and really think outside the box. So I encourage you to do the same. And then, yeah, so then talking about like thinking outside the therapy room, there's so many possibilities of adapting your skills here, and we're just going to kind of scratch the surface. We were both talking before this that like we could probably have like a 5 hour like discussion about this, but um so yeah, like just some like ideas off the top of my head are just like virtual workshops, like guided meditations, whether that's video or audio, right? Let's see, like virtual group sessions, like if you had like a group going on and you need to move that online, there's tech that can help you with that. There's courses, ebooks, selling artwork. Like I've seen some therapists selling t-shirts, things like that. So I really want to just like drive home that I'm embracing creativity here, and that's going to be the difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're just focusing on this idea of you providing a workshop or a meditation, something for your community quickly, something really simple
Mm-hmm.
to get started with. And knowing that that might actually lead to a lot more. Like Monica's saying, that may actually lead you in a lot of different directions. But just to get started, we're going to talk about how to create a workshop for your community. And even stepping into that, I'm going to anticipate that a lot of you are going to hit perfectionism. Like a lot of you are going to hit up against a feeling of, well, I've got to put together something perfect, or I've got to put together something excellent, or I shouldn't do it at all. So if you're having those kinds of thoughts come up, I just really want to encourage you to question them, that it might be that you're of the most service by being willing to do something now, that you might be of the most service by being willing to step forward rather than waiting until you think you've got it perfect. And it's also usually by doing that you're going to ever hit that point of what you're thinking of as good enough. And I also think some of you are going to hit this feeling like it's got to be much more complicated than I'm thinking, or I need a huge audience to get started. And so I really want to encourage you to be willing to lead imperfectly. And we're here modeling that right now, that we're not perfect. We're not, I have never been on Instagram Live before, for example. So this was such a wonderful opportunity for me to step into my, learning curve. But I want to encourage you with your mindset stuck places to return to how can I serve rather than how can I look good or how can I be perfect, and to be willing to put something out there and not be super attached to the outcome, that it's in the offering and the doing, and doing it with love. The other thing you're going to run into, the other thing I run into is fear of tech. Like, okay, what's the platform I need and how do I do this, again, perfectly? And if I don't know the tech, I better just take a big step back. And I really don't want you to do that. I just want you to know that you absolutely can do this. I've seen some people are here right now who I know have worked through technology fears and are now serving many more people because of it.
Mm-hmm. And if
But
you
you're going to
have,
have, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, if you have those, that's what I'm here for. I'll
Yes.
help you with the tech side of stuff. um, yeah, were you gonna say something else, Annie?
No. So yeah. So Monica, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've been thinking about identifying niches?
Yeah, yeah. So everybody that's here, if you're planning on making a workshop and delivering it to your community, that's going to look wildly different depending on who you are and who you're serving, right? So I kind of broke it down into like 3 really simple things that you can do to identify what kind of workshop, what kind of offering you can deliver right now. So, first step is to take a step back. So, right now, especially, we're all in this collective experience. There's a lot of stress and potentially anxiety going on. And for me, it's always really helpful to just kind of imagine myself taking a step back, like take a deep breath, and you can have your experience because we all are having our own experiences right now. But to take one step back out of that and then look at your community, who you're serving, your niche, and then listen to them, listen to what they're saying. Um, and that's step 2, just like take some time to listen, read the social media posts, kind of experience what they're experiencing, and then respond. So in that listening, you can identify needs. Like that's what we're all great at, right? And yeah, so in that you can start to again get creative to figure out how you can meet that need in a really easy and imperfect way. Right, so like for example here, Annie mentioned that this workshop was my idea, and what I the idea came from you all. Like I was listening and reading posts about therapists moving their practices online, and the uncertainty and in some cases fear that goes along with that, and concern for not all clients being able to move online with you, right? And so that's in my mind right then, I thought workshops, helping more than one person at one time online. So broadening our reach. So that's where the idea for this workshop came. So I encourage you to do the same thing, to just listen to your community and try to meet that need. And in that, you can use the skills that you're already using to meet them. So I would also say that that might mean, again, getting creative, like using your skills in a little bit different of a way than you're used to. So like, again, for me as an example, I'm a designer. I'm usually every day designing websites and brands. But I have experience with transitioning from one-on-one in-person work to online work. So that's why I'm talking here today. Um, so I just say that to kind of encourage you to, again, think outside of the box in terms of your own skills.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes, read through the comments.
And I've been noticing, oh yeah, thanks, Monica. I've been noticing folks really being pulled to create things like meditations. Like I know I just saw Nick was here. I saw Cindy was here. I know that people are putting together things like meditations for their communities and looking at who are my people and what can I create for them. So just a couple of examples. I'll give you a couple of examples of communities that I'm part of. So parents who are suddenly at home with their kids all day. And so something for parents that I would find helpful would be a workshop on what to do with your kids all day, a workshop on how to have your kids home while you're working and to not just have them like watching screens all day, how to talk to your kids depending on their age about what's going on, in an age appropriate, helpful way. Or a meditation for parents, so those are some of the things off the top of my head. And then another group I'm part of would be the LGBTQIA community, and looking at, I know Nick is here, who's really a leader in that community, and has put together a last minute meditation for folks, I believe last week. And I don't know if you're doing more of that, Nick, but talking about with whatever your community is, looking at this new normal and being willing to lead. And I don't mean lead by having everything figured out and being like a perfect person, but I mean leading by going first, like leading by being willing to lead a discussion, lead a meditation, talk about what's working for you and what's working for other people. And so look at, just like Monica was saying, look at who your folks are. And I know niching can be really complicated, but try to make it simple right now. Look at who are you most called to help. And just like Monica said, what are they asking for? What are they struggling with? And if you're part of that group, then you can also lean into that. I also want to encourage you. So as you're putting together your idea for your workshop, whatever the concept is, whatever it is that you're thinking you could provide, make it really simple, make it really digestible and actionable. So rather than trying to do a huge overview on mental health or a huge overview on everything that someone can do to take care of themselves, think about what might be digestible in a short period of time. And usually with these kinds of workshops, less is going to be more. So whatever you're thinking, yeah, I just saw Cultivated Healer saying a live art session.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Love
So
that.
yeah, make it a lot smaller than you probably think it needs to be, because this is really your area of expertise. You're used to covering a lot, but think about just doing something really small. Think about an outcome that you could imagine people walking away with, and make sure it's realistic. That someone could walk away with that from this amount of time with you. And talk about that outcome, set everything up so that that's what you're setting people up to walk away with, rather than trying to give them everything you can. You're looking at, what is the outcome, and what's the smallest amount that I can give them that will head them toward that outcome. And so, for example, this might be, you're going to walk through one tool together. You're going to actually do a meditation together. Maybe you're going to, like, if someone's willing to create this workshop for me about what to do with your kids all day, maybe you're going to create a schedule together during the workshop. So something small and doable like that. So let's, I know people are doing awesome stuff in chat right now. Put into there, just think for a moment and put in there, what is something, maybe the main thing you'd like your participant to walk away with from the workshop that you're going to put together. Sharing my family's impromptu homeschool routine with my parent clients. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, Mind Money Balance says simple is better. I often forget how normal money talk is for me and how anxiety provoking it can be for others. Yeah, that's a really good point, because the work that like the things that we talk about every day are so normal to us, but it's about, yeah, like you said, simplifying and, yeah, deeper connection to spirituality, grounding, a little bit of calm. Yes, staying positive, sense of grounded peace and calm. Connection in the sense that you already have what you need at home to get creative without a lot of supplies. Yeah.
Love that.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah. That's awesome. And hope space to feel confident that they can take care of their mental health.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so many of us right now are just feeling so alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just
Great.
closing my shade. I think it's going to be loud for like 10 seconds while I do it. Sorry. There we go. The sun suddenly came out.
Oh, yeah.
Mindfulness through the senses. Beautiful.
Yeah. So the gears are starting to turn. I really like that. So let's talk about some tech stuff. So how to actually deliver this to your people, right? So we're going to talk about some platforms here, and feel free, if we don't mention something that you love using, feel free to chime in the comments and let us know. We're sharing resources here. So Annie's going to talk about Zoom.
Yeah. So Zoom is what I usually use. I'm going to be hosting a community call on Wednesday, and I'm using Zoom. It's really easy. It's free for 40 minutes or less, although I would recommend probably using the paid option so that you don't get cut off at 40 minutes. And I have no affiliate links with anyone. It's just something I recommend, and it's $15 a month for unlimited. And so with Zoom, I mean, Monica's going to kind of talk about what different platforms are good for different situations. And we're not talking actually about online therapy sessions here, although I'm happy Allie's here and is going to be, yeah, Doxy Me, I heard, is down. That really sucks. But
Wow.
just, I know everybody's human, right? But what we're really talking about now is workshops. Like, what are some good platforms for these bigger offers? But definitely also put into the chat everything that you want to say about what platforms you're using for other stuff too. But yeah, so Zoom has been really my go-to. And then another one I really like to use is Crowdcast for bigger meetings. So I should have done my Wednesday thing on Crowdcast because over 100 people have signed up already. But I find like Zoom is wonderful for a group of like maybe 20 people or less, and then Crowdcast is really great for larger groups. Um, yeah, and Monica, walk us through kind of like the different kinds of platforms that you would use for different situations.
Yeah. So depending on your workshop you're offering, you might be starting to think about like what kind of offering you want to make, right? Like, do you want it to be open to everybody? Do you want it to be a select group of people? Do you want to like record something before and then deliver it pre-recorded? So I have a few different options for you. So if you're doing a live event like this and you want it to be open, just like open to anybody, live streaming services are the best bet there. So Instagram Live like this, Facebook Live, Mind Money Balance mentioned YouTube Live. I've never done that, but that's an option as well. And then if you are, hosting a live group, but you want it to be like a closed group where people have to sign up to join, then that's where Zoom or Crowdcast could be a really good option. Both good options. And then if you're doing something like pre-recorded, like let's say you want to pre-record a meditation, something like Zoom could work for that as well. But also Loom is a really good option as well. That's a screen recording Google extension, actually, which I use every day. And it's really nice because after you make the recording, it just instantly gives you like a URL that you can share anywhere. So super easy to use. And yeah, I
And
think oh, sorry, go ahead.
well, and Monica, you pointed out they just, in a response to COVID-19, they just extended their free plan so that now their free plan is unlimited for
Yeah.
6 months, which was super cool of them.
Yeah. Okay, someone said Anchor podcast is free and easy, so start a podcast.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Creative thinking.
Great idea.
I also just thought too, like if you want to put out like an audio meditation, even just like doing voice record on your phone will give you an audio file that then you can put either onto like a blog post or just share that in an email or something like that. Who was that again? That was Loom. It's Loom. Yep. That's Loom. So, um, yeah, feel free if, let's see. Oh, both of those are the same questions. Okay. Um, so yeah, Annie, you want to go into like a little bit more of logistics?
Yeah. Okay. So you've picked your platform and you know what you're putting together for people, and now it's time to share it, let's say. So this could be later today for many of you. So I'm just going to talk you through the really easy way to do this. And this actually mimics what Monica and I did to put this together. And Monica, when did you first contact me about this? It was like Thursday or Friday?
Yeah, because we talked on Wednesday and then I think Thursday had the idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So, and I think it's only because there was a weekend in between that we waited till Monday. So this can happen
Right.
really fast. So you write up a short description where you're emphasizing what the problem is that you're going to help with and what the outcome is that you're going to help provide. And you make this really short and you make it really in the language of the person you're talking to. I know that sounds obvious, but it needs to be said that you're speaking exactly the way that you're hearing them talk. It's a conversation. So you write up a short description like that. You then create an event. If you're using something like Zoom or Crowdcast, you just create an event there. Or if it's going to be like this, if it's going to be an Instagram live or a YouTube live or a Facebook live, you just set a time and let them know where to go at that time. You can, this part's even optional. You can create a little graphic in Canva. Canva is a really simple graphic creation tool, but you can use whatever tool you like for this. And Canva is free. You create a little graphic that's just hopefully showing your beautiful face and also just summarizing what it is and when and how to get there. You share your description with your email list if you have an email list. Or if you don't, you just email everyone you know, letting them know about this. And you also can use that graphic and that description on social media everywhere that you show up and ask others to share it. And that's it. That's really, that's everything that we did.
Hmm.
And you're just getting the word out in all of the ways that you can. You do not need a huge audience to get started with that.
Yep. Yeah. Simple as possible. Um, so yeah, and then to go a little bit further too, if you're hosting an event that you want to take registration for, and like I'm gonna advocate for like the simpler the better, but I'll just kind of put this little aside in here, and I can expand on this later. But let's say you're hosting an event and you want it to be, you have a limited number of people that you want to invite. So you can actually create a registration page on your own website. I know things like Crowdcast and like Eventbrite have registration pages kind of built in,
Or
but
Zoom does also.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. As a web designer, I'm going to advocate for putting that registration page on your own website. And so you can do that really simply by creating a new page on your website and putting some sort of scheduling software in there, whether that's Calendly or Acuity scheduling. This is where it gets a little bit more into the realm of, just like more steps, so it's more complicated. But I will do subsequent trainings on all of that. But for now, for the purposes of this workshop, just keeping it simple, we can just stick with um, just kind of announcing your event and letting people come to it.
Excellent. Yeah. And actually, interestingly enough, that was something like when we were putting this together, I at first was saying, let's do it on Crowdcast and let's do this and that. And Monica kind of reminded me, like, let's actually make this really easy for us, but also easy for people to show up. And so let's do Instagram Live. And I said, but I've never done Instagram Live before. So you, just like me, you can do new things. and it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Um, and this is a great question. If an MFT hosts a workshop, does it need to be on a HIPAA compliant platform? So I am not an expert on that legal ethical stuff, but my understanding, and other people can share as well, is that if you're not doing this under your license as a therapy session, you're actually providing psychoeducation, a workshop, then no. And you just want to be really clear in your marketing and everything that this is not a therapy session. Because if you're doing a therapy session, then you're in that realm.
Mhm.
And Mind Money Balance agrees.
Yeah, it would be just kind of like if you're speaking at an event,
Yeah,
it'd be the same thing, you know.
that's a great way of thinking of it. Yeah, you wouldn't have all of the confidentiality that you have in your therapy room. Yeah.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. So, we really want to hear from all of you. So, do you have ideas for your workshop that are kind of forming in your mind, or do you have something planned already? And if so, type it into the comments because we want to hear about it and we want to help you, um, deliver it, brainstorm ways we can get this going. Thanks for watching. Those of you that have to jump off.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, and then what questions are coming up for you about creating your workshop? Like, where are you, when you look ahead, where are you getting stuck? Um, awesome.
Oh, wow, good one.
Coping with financial anxiety during COVID-19, a YouTube live podcast. Yes. I want to go. Oh, this is beautiful. These are great ideas. Cleaning and organization tutorials because people are cooped up at home. Yes.
Creative art
Creative
workshop
art.
online.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Tips for ways to pick a topic. Yeah. So one idea I think is going back to what Monica said is to listen and see what's bubbling to the surface as something your community is asking for a lot. And then another is to, because it's different stuff that I see holding different people back. So you have to know yourself here. But one thing that holds some people back is trying to pick the right topic. And it may be that there's not one right answer and that you want to just start with one thing that seems to be bubbling to the surface and know that you could do another one next week. So it's okay if it's not the perfect choice because you can do another one. All right. I'm just reading through the chat.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So Zoom question, do you recommend asking people to sign up beforehand or just sending out the link? I think you could do either. It really depends on your audience. You know them best. And, whatever you think is going to be probably easiest for them. Like if they want the security of knowing that they have a spot in that workshop, then send out that sign up before. But if you think it'll be easier just to send out that link, then go for it.
I like the idea of registering so that you can then remind them, because sometimes if you're going through your day, you see something you're interested in, you may not remember to go back to it. But if you register and you grab your spot, then you get a reminder. That can be really helpful. But I would never want you to hold back from creating something if that was adding an extra step that you weren't ready to take. So it's totally okay not to do the whole pre-register thing. Cindy, awesome. Calm balm for this March Madness daily meditations.
That's
I love that. And
awesome.
you're so good at coming up with names, Cindy. That's really good.
Yeah, that's an awesome name. Let's see. I have an in-person workshop booked for April, thinking about making it online using more simple materials that people would have at home. Yeah. Yeah, as a former art therapist, I really, really empathize with that. There was a time where I was, doing like coaching and trying to incorporate my art therapy experience into that. And it can be a challenge, but yeah, I think people love the opportunity to get creative with what they have. That's great.
Okay, this is a great question. At some point, workshops need to transition into a way to earn income. Thoughts?
Mhm.
Yeah. Some of you are going to notice as you're doing this that this is going to turn into more for you, and that you want to. Some of you already, I know, are doing um, a lot more with this, and you have online programs. Some of you are going to want to create online programs. So definitely, um, you can. One resource I have is my podcast, Rebel Therapist podcast, where I'm interviewing people who have businesses beyond the therapy room. And so you can get a lot of inspiration there from a lot of people who are already doing it. But yeah, that is absolutely possible. That's what I help people do. So I'm glad you're thinking about that.
Mhm. And this is
Um,
also just a great opportunity to gather information. You know,
yeah.
with meeting people where they're at, you can learn a lot about what they need. Like we mentioned in this workshop, where it's not about solving all the problems, it's about solving one, trying to help solve one small problem,
Yeah.
and or area of concern. And so that will inevitably kind of create ideas for further offerings, and some of them might be paid. So yeah, that's great that you're thinking about that.
Yeah. This could be anything from your entire career, which is what it became for me,
Mm-hmm.
to a one-time thing that you want to just give a gift to your community. So
Mm-hmm.
there's anywhere in between there, not a binary. Um, we also just want to make ourselves available that you should, if you're moved to, you should follow both of us to see what we have going on, because we are both really committed to you, to therapists and healers, and helping you get through this, helping you figure out what your new normal is, and what's going to work for you. And we want to support you. So definitely follow us both to see how we can help you, and let us know what your questions are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Cindy, I like this question. How do I encourage feedback for interaction? So if you're doing something live, then I would say, just like how we've hopefully imperfectly modeled here, that you want to just keep checking in on what the questions are, and leaving some pauses, leaving some room, so you don't have so much information that there isn't room for interaction. If you're delivering something pre-recorded over time, then to just, in whatever way you're delivering that, to always have questions that go with it. Like, here's my tool for today, or my meditation for today, and I have this question for you, so that you're just always welcoming it. And Cindy, I know you're great at that anyway, but those are some ideas.
So to really wrap this up, we want to hear from you all. So what's one action that you're interested in taking after listening to us talk today, after discussing with us about these virtual workshops? What's just one small thing that you're going to do today to take action on this? And thank you for the folks that just joined. Hi.
Yeah, hi everybody. My wife just joined too.
Writing a new, simpler workshop.
Oh,
Simplifying, yeah.
beautiful.
Hmm. I have to do that myself quite a bit, just kind of revisit things, simplify them. Oftentimes the first version of what I put out is too more complicated than it needs to be.
Yes. Yes. All right. And also figuring out how signups on Zoom work. Yeah, Maya, it's super simple. You're going to be like, "Oh, that's all."
Mhm.
Okay. Great.
Yes, love it.
Get to know Zoom better to figure out how to host a virtual workshop. Okay. Awesome. It's going to be
Mhm.
so easy. You're going to love it.
Write your
Mm,
newsletter, tell them
yeah.
about it online something or live parenting offering, create a graphic and share it. Yep.
You guys tag me in the stuff you're creating and I'll promote it also. I'd love to
Yeah,
do
likewise. Yeah, revisiting past workshops, great
that.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't reinvent the wheel.
Yes. Go back to your archives. You already have enough. You don't need to create anything new.
Right. Right,
Good.
like this, like we're both speaking from just our own experience, right?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. All right. Sending you huge non-germy love. And please keep us posted. We both really want to know, what you create next.
Yeah. All
All
right,
right.
thanks everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Mm. Let's see.
Okay. I'll turn off this recording too. There.
So, all right.